This is probably about take 7 of trying to record this podcast. It makes a difference when you actually turn the microphone on. But let's get into it.
Dad! Oh my gosh, Dad, stop. You're embarrassing me.
It's the My PTSHD Podcast. Hello and welcome back to the My PTSHD Journey Podcast. This is episode 3 coming to you live from underneath the blanket. Recording this episode of the podcast has been anything but smooth. And I got about 6 minutes into the recording and then realised that I was recording it through my computer microphone because I hadn't even plugged in the microphone. And I think there's a few times where I had my headphones plugged in, but then thinking that I had the microphone plugged in, but I didn't. So trying again, this will probably take 6, I reckon. But please stick around. We will get to the end of this. And there is a special segment at the end of the podcast, so stay tuned. And let's get into things with a dad joke.
Dad, I'm tired.
I'm tired. I'm dead. Got him! Today's joke is 3 men walked into a bar and the fourth one ducked. Alright, let's get into High and Whine. My high this week is that winter sport is back. It's very exciting. NRL started last weekend. AFL starting this week with stupid opening round. That's a whole different podcast episode. And Formula One's back this weekend too, which is very exciting. So I'm getting fantasy teams locked in. I'm going to be heartbroken partway through the season. My wine this week is... what did I write down? Yes. My wine this week is that I ended up spending 5 hours at the mall yesterday and we weren't even watching a movie. It was 5 hours of filling in time at the mall, which I'll get into a little bit later. But let's move into the Diaries. So yesterday we had to take my wife's car in to get serviced. We dropped it off at the dealership, and I made a mistake when I was dropping the keys off. The lady asked if we're happy to have them. Yes, we're happy to have them over. No, she asked if we're happy. No, she asked if we were happy to leave the car there for the day, which I didn't want to be hassled, so I just said yes, which was probably a mistake in the end because it resulted in us trying to fill in 5 hours at the mall. So we were running out of things to do inside the mall, but we decided to take our 1-year-old to the trampoline place just to have a look to see how expensive it would be. We walked in, we were having a look at the prices, and we asked the lady at the front, he said, how much would it cost for our 1-year-old to go in? And they said, oh, can you walk? And we said, no, you can't walk. You can take a few steps, which probably doesn't really constitute as walking in their eyes, in the eyes of the bouncy house laws. Yeah, so she ended up saying, she said, well, you can go in for free then. And we're like, sick. How much would it be for one of us to go in? And she said, well, if you're supervising, it's free. And we said, absolutely, we're supervising. So we got 2 adults and a 1-year-old in for free to bounce. There's a little parenting hack for those of you out there that are in a similar situation. We had a great time. We had the place to ourselves for a bit, and I still managed to get myself into not in trouble, but I got told off for having me and my 1-year-old on a trampoline at the same time, even though he can't walk. So I don't know how that was an issue. But anyways, he had a great time. They had a mini area there that he could crawl around in, and his climbing's getting very good. I'm very impressed with his climbing ability. Like, he's climbing to the top of the couch now, which I don't know if that's good parenting or not. But anyways, he can do it. It's very impressive. So yeah, that was probably the highlight from this week. Is getting a whole trampoline place myself, basically. I mean, not for myself, for me. Anyways, yeah. So that was another highlight from my week. Alright, let's move into Dad Wisdom.
One does not simply
go in against a Sicilian when death is on the line.
I have a confession to make. I did have something really interesting that I learnt earlier in the week, but I forgot to write it down. So I've just done a quick Google search to find something interesting and did a little bit of digging, but I found out a fact, which is pretty crazy. But the fact is, it takes a drop of water 90 days to travel the entire Mississippi River, which is wild. Flowing approximately 2,340 miles, the Mississippi River is the fourth largest in the world. I don't understand, how do you track a single drop of water? That doesn't quite make sense. Oh, speaking of tracking, something I did learn this week is that scientists have been tracking bogon moths with, I don't know how you track them, but they put like a small sticker on their wings or like a little blot of paint, and that's how they track them. Which is wild. So if you can track a moth, you can track water, clearly. Alright, let's jump into Dad Hotline. This week's question actually comes from my wife. I haven't read it yet, but let's open it up. And the question is, when it loads. My wife has asked me, when is dinner? And what I'll be having for dinner. Oh man, she's funny. She is funny. I don't know what's for dinner. I haven't thought that far yet. And so therefore, I don't know when it will be ready, honey. So hopefully, if you're listening to this podcast, I don't know if she actually has listened to it yet. But if you do listen, then hopefully that answers your question. I think she follows me on Instagram, but that's about it. I'm not sure if she's actually gone out of her way to listen to an episode yet. And I don't blame her. I don't know. I could be proven wrong. I probably am wrong. I'm generally wrong. So my wife tells me. But anyways, let's move into the closing rant. My rant this week is about. Now I know I'm not a perfect parent, but I took my 1-year-old to one of those play spaces in the shopping centre, and there's a couple of other kids there playing around E-Lab, and then this little girl decided to come up to our 1-year-old and like poking, like, what do I do in that situation? Like, do I tell him to stop, or which I probably should have told him to stop, but I froze, I panicked. No, I think I ended up saying be gentle, but then there was parents there supervising their child while they were looking at their phone or had headphones in and looking at their phone at the same time. And this girl was like playing with another boy, and like she got poked or something, and she was instigating it, and then she got poked and cried wolf, basically. And it was so frustrating. I left the play area feeling frustrated. And my mum was frustrated too, but it was just man, parenting's getting worse, I reckon. But yeah, I think parenting's going downhill a little bit. But like I said, I'm not perfect. The other parents probably have their side of the story, but I mean, that's just my side of the story. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of the My PTSHD Journey Podcast. If you listen the whole way through, there is still one more segment to come. And I've decided to add a blooper section to the end of this podcast because I'm not talented enough to record it all in one go. But I kind of miss how movies, like the old Pixar movies, did like the bloopers at the end. I thought that was quite funny. One of the best parts of the movie, I reckon. So yeah, that's what I've added into this segment. But before we get into that, you can find us on any podcast streaming platform. We've also got our Instagram page, the My PTSHD Journey Podcast. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and stick around for the bloopers, and we'll talk to you next week. Adios, amigos.
Marker and action.
I'm surprised. I'm actually. I'm kidding. Alright, today's joke is what. At least with anyone else who coaches you, I am aware that your emergencies actually score points. No, not that medicine the poor doesn't need to be added into the podcast. Happy if we're happy. Most of the time generally we're happy. You're not saying, that 1-year-old. I feel silly. And I say bring back corporal punishment. No, I'm kidding. I shouldn't say that. It might be just My PTSHD Journey. I can't remember. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Oh, we hope